Hello everyone, Ashley here. This is the fourth workshop on SPSS, and I hope that you've been able to practice a little bit on the previous workshops that's been uploaded on CeMaSTeL website. And There you go. So for workshop 3, what we discussed was the use of descriptives to explore qualitative data. So we're going to move now to the use of descriptives to explore quantitative data. This is organized by CeMaSTeL. I'm pretty sure you know me by now. My name is Ashley. And again, thank you to Dr. Brendan Masterson from Hendon, who designed those SPSS workshops for MSc Management students. All I did was customize those workshops slightly for other students and members of staff. It will be a great idea if you could listen to the previous workshops, and they're all uploaded here on the CeMaSTeL website. Right, before we start, a few things. The PDF file, so I might just show you quickly the PDF file that you're going to use today is it comes from workshop 2, and it was it was also used in workshop 3. So we're going to be using the same PDF file. The only difference which I did mention in workshop 3 is that on those PDF files we have 16 entries. There you go. So we had 16 entries, if you can see it here, but on the actual SPSS file which I uploaded, there would be about 23. So briefly, this is what I'm talking about here. The PDF file would be here, this one, and the SPSS file. So this one has 16 entries, this one has 23 entries. You might as well ignore the PDF file and work with the one with the SPSS file, which has 23 entries. That's the first thing I wanted to mention, because you might see the numbers being different, 16 and 23. So clearly, if I'm using the SPSS file, the output that I'm going to get on SPSS will be different to the one that you will see on the PDF file, which uses 16 values. So that shouldn't be a problem. It's just a minor discrepancy. I'm sure we can work around this. Right. Now, what we want to discuss in quantitative data would be two things, measure of location and measure of dispersion. Now, I'm not here basically to teach you about mode, mean, median, and so on. I hope that some of you would know about these definitions, but if you do not know, then please get a book. They're very easy. I'll try to explain whatever I can, but remember this workshop is mostly on SPSS. So hopefully you've come across these terms before, but like I've said, I'll try to kind of do a quick refresher. Hopefully it might help, but please, you can grab a book in the library and find these terms, and they're quite easy. So these are the two things we want to discuss on SPS. So we'll start with the measure of location here. There are three main ones under that, which is the mean, what a lot of you know as average. I want to be quite specific here and precise. It's really known as arithmetic mean, and the next one is median, and the third one is mode. So we're going to start with this one, then later we're going to talk about measure of dispersion, under which we're going to come across variance and interquartile range. Right, so briefly mean, please don't be scared. This is nothing, by the way. Don't be scared by this formula. It's just X bar means the meaning of X bar means mean, average of numbers, mean, and this is sum of X divided by the number of observations that we have. So for example, what's the mean of 10, 13, 12, 13, and 17? So this will be my x1, x2, x3, x4, x5. So here, starting with 1 to 5, and I will add them. That's the summation notation. I will add them and I'll divide by 5 here. So that there you go. It's as easy as it is, as you know, as you can see here. Right, so that's the mean, and basically we want SPSS to give us the answer instead of us taking a calculator or using Excel to find the answer. Mode is quite easy to explain. Mode is the number which occurs the most. So if I take the previous example with 10, 13, 12, 13, and 17, I can see that 13 occurs twice compared to the other numbers which occurs once. So hence 13 is my mode here. Then the third one is median. What it means here is to find the middle value. Excuse me. Clearly, to find the middle value, I must have an order. So usually we start from the smallest one to the largest one, and then we can find the middle value here. So if I take this particular example, I don't really need a formula to find out that this number here, the third, we have 5 numbers, so the third number is the middle one because we have 2 after 12 and 2 before 12. So uh, these are the initial original numbers. I rearrange them and I find the middle one, which is 12. And like I've said, you don't really need a formula for this. It's quite easy. But if you do want the formula, here is the formula. So basically, to find the median or the middle value, you take the number of observation, in our case 5, plus 1, which is 6, divide by 2, which is 3. But this gives me the position of the middle value. So it's not 3, it's the third number. In this case, 1, 2, 3, that's the third number, hence the median is 13. So this is what we want to do. We won't really spend too much time on mode on SPSS. It's kind of useless right now. So we will try uh, median and mean on SPSS. So basically, you have the file, the SPSS file with 23 values. You've seen this since workshop 2. I think you've been using this SPSS file. You know which one I'm talking about. You can download it from CeMaSTeL website. So this is what we want SPSS to do for us. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep switching between PowerPoint and the the SPSS file. So let's bring it up. While we wait, I hope you've been practicing a little bit of SPSS. I've had some questions and I've been answering them, but I would have hoped that a lot of you would get in touch with more questions about the workshops and so on. So please feel free to get in touch and practice these works. And if there's any trouble, please let me know. Looks like it's crashed. Please don't crash. All right, so we can carry on from on SPSS. That's fine. This is what. So let's go through this one. This is what we want to do in a minute. If SPSS works, and here what I want to do is find the mean. So if you have your SPSS open, like you've seen, I'm struggling with mine now. Hopefully, you should be okay. What you want to do to find the mean is bring up your SPSS file. Then you're going to follow this path here: analyze, descriptive statistics, and descriptive. So analyze is here, you have descriptive statistics, and you're going to have descriptives here. So you can start trying it. Oh dear, where's my SPSS? There you go, perfect. So first is you put it on data view, analyze, descriptive stats, and descriptives, right? So like I said, I will keep switching between PowerPoint and this one. So I'm here, right? And this is the box you've seen. Now let's say we want to find the mean of the variable age. So basically what I want to know is what's the mean age of the participants. So you can see that I've already selected age on this right window here, but if I move back to SPSS, I still have to do it. So I'm going to select age and I'm going to click on the arrow here, hence moving age from left to right. And you'll see that the variable age is not here anymore and it's here. Right, so sorry, oops, it is right. Okay, so I've moved it here. Then how do we analyze? Sorry, let's uh, let's move back to SPSS. Right. So once you've moved age, click on OK, and this will appear on the output window of SPSS. So it if you read on the first line, we had 23 values with the minimum age being 20, the maximum age being 40, and the mean of those ages is 24.95. Let's say nearly 25 years old. I'll talk about the standard deviation a little bit later. So this is how I can find the mean of the participant age in SPSS. Pretty much straightforward, and I hope you can practice it. So let's go back to SPSS now. That was an example for finding the mean of the age variable. What about median now? If I want to find the median of the variable age, again, analyze, descriptive stats, statistics, and explore. So analyze is here, if you can see it, descriptive stats and explore. Let's try that. Analyze, descriptive stats, easy, explore, and this is what I'm gonna get. Now let's really go slowly here. Let's move back to the PowerPoint. Now you want to be a bit careful here. So again, I want to explore the variable age, which means it was initially on the left window. I will have to move it on the right window, the top one, right? So once I do this, uh, then I might want you to click on both here. I'll explain in a minute. So let's see what by default what we have there, right? So age, I would expect if I go back on SPSS, age would be here. I want to move it from this left to the top right window, and then I'll talk a little bit about both. Right, so let's go back to SPSS. So there you go. I'm going to choose age. That's the variable I want to work on, and I want to find the median of this variable. So I'm going to move it here, and both the display both here is selected. I don't know if it's by default, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't. But anyway, so the difference here is, let me show you the difference once we see the output. It might be a little bit clearer for me to explain. So if I select both and click OK, see what happens here, right? So I'm gonna get the statistics here and the plot here. Now I've got a stem and leaf, sorry, box and whisker here. I could have chosen something else, so that we can discuss later. This is what we know as a here is the stem and leaf, here is the box and whisker diagram. But what is our concern here is more this particular table, which is of our interest rather. So if you remember, I did talk about valid percent and missing person last workshop, so please listen to that. So what we have here, remember we did get mean earlier, 24.9565, which appears here as well, and if I scroll down, I'll get the median being 24 years old. So right now these are the two variables which are of interest, and we can discuss the rest in a few minutes. So there you go. So that's for the mean and the median. Let's move back here. We've done that. Yeah, we've got this. I just showed it to you. Remember guys, for the last time, if you're using my PDF file for your perusal, then you might see different values there, just because instead of 23 on that PDF file, only 16 values were used. So they would obviously be different. So this is how we find mean and median, right? And that's it. That's for the time being. That's the only two measure of location that I want to discuss before I move to the measure of dispersion. Um, I don't want to talk about plots right now. Trust me, it's going to come in other workshops, but I just want to keep this short and simple. Right. Okay. So now let's move to the measure of dispersion. Like I've said, I do expect you to read a little bit about this. So briefly, what is the definition? It's how spread my data is around the mean. Uh, I want one numerical summary, one number which will summarize the distance, the spread of all the ages about the mean, which was I think 24.9 or something, right? So this is one numerical summary. Hence, it's known as the measure of dispersion. How dispersed my values are with respect to one particular value, and here in this case we want to compare all those values, the distance of the dispersion about the value which is known as the mean. Now how do we go by finding the mean the dispersion? So now I'm going to try this one graph. Just to recap, we've been using analyze earlier for the measure of location. Now for the measure of dispersion, let me go through the PowerPoint slide first. I'm going to do graph, chart builder, and I'm going to do some stuff here for you to explain, right? So chart builder, I'm going to move my variable age somewhere. I'm going to explain where, and I'm going to get something like this, hopefully. Right, so let's see. Recap, graph, chart builder, and I'm going to move the variable age from this window to somewhere here, and I'm going to explain what I'm trying to do in a minute. Right, so there you go, graph, chart builder, and that's what you get. So I'm going to click on age, and here I'm going to use, let's say, bar chart. There you go. Let's try bar chart. So basically I want age to be on this axis here, right? So you need to click on bar chart for these things to appear. If you do not, then like it wasn't earlier. So click on reset if you want, and show you again. Click on bar chart for that to appear. There you go, this one, and you're going to move your variable age like this and put it here, and bingo, right? So it just tells you the age, bar charts on age or histograms for the variable age here. This is basically what we got here, right? So it looks similar, does it? Sorry, not really similar. Age. I'm pretty sure I might have taken the PDF file diagram 24 4.48. All right, okay. So I'm going to come back to this and do some changes here just for you to see what's happening, right? Right. Okay. Once I move here, and I'm going to get, sorry, the output. I forgot to show you. Click OK here. Sorry, that's not where I should be looking at. I forgot to click OK, and it's gonna give me here. Sorry, my mistake. I forgot to click on OK there. So this is basically the bar chart for the variable age. If I want to just um, compare age with frequency, right? So it gives me details as well, 24.9565, which I'm sure you've seen a bit earlier, then the standard deviation, and then the number of observation, which is 23. There you go. So that's the standard deviation and the mean again, and the bar chart. And if I move back to PowerPoint and see what else we have, there you go. So that's what we've done, and this is the bar charts we've just seen. And if I don't want to go through all this, if I didn't want to go through all this, I'm sure you know how to get this one. We've just done it a little bit earlier, and let's try and see the measure of dispersion here and here. So let's go back to the output, right? And let's move up a little bit. This is what I'm talking about. You do have the median, you do have the mean, but the variance and standard deviation as well can be obtained in that particular table here, and the interquartile range. Now, for those who remember the formulae, if I do a square root on variance, which is a measure of dispersion, I will get the standard deviation. So you can try this out on a calculator. So the square root of 20.134 is 4.48714, or if you want to square this number, 4.48714, square it, and you should end up with 20.134. That's how either standard deviation or variance would be measure of dispersion. The only difference is a square root here. Interquartile range would be the third quartile minus the first quartile. Again, I'm sorry if these terms are new to you, but please take a book and read about the quartiles, and it is fairly easy. Quartiles come from the word quarter, and I'm going to split my data into four parts. The first 25%, then the next 25%, and the next, and the final 25%. The first quartile is the first 25%. The third quartile is up to the third, up to the seventh, the first, up to the third 25%. So 25 times 3 is 75% from the smallest number. So there you go. That's the measure of dispersion. I think that's nearly, we do have some more slides. Now, how do we present our data? Um, this is all taken from the PDF file, so you can read about it, and uh, you have to summarize. You can't just give us a table and then expect us to find those values. We know where the values are. What we want to see is you trying to make sense of those values. So remember, the mean was 24.9 or something. So we can write statements as the mean of the sample is approximately 25 years, and so on and so forth. You can talk about standard deviation. The mean of the sample is approximately 24 years. Sorry, my mistake here. That should be 25. That's a typo here, guys. With a relative small standard deviation of 4.5, if you remember carefully from the table there. That's the mistake here. That should have been 25. Anyway, that's it for today. That's the fourth workshop, and I hope you enjoyed it. Keep an eye on the fifth one, which hopefully should be up next week. And if you have to email me, please, CeMaSTeL@mdx.ac.mu is the one that you have to use. And by all means, come up with your questions, and we can discuss even by email, and we can find some alternative. Thank you very much, and until next time, bye bye.